Dear students, in the last lecture we had discussed about Lorentz expansion. Today we shall discuss the uniqueness of Lorentz expansion. The result is in the form of a theorem. Suppose that we have obtained in any manner or as the definition of fz, the formula fz is equal to sigma n is equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn into z minus a to the power n, where mod of z minus a lies between r dash and r. Then the series is necessarily identical with Lorentz series of fz, which we had obtained earlier. So let's start with the proof. Suppose C is the circle defined by mod of z minus a is equal to r, where r lies between r dash and r. The Lorentz series which we obtained earlier is given by fz is equal to sigma n is equal to minus infinity to infinity an into z minus a to the power n, where an is given by 1 upon 2 pi I integral over c ft upon t minus a to the power n plus 1 dt. Now suppose that ft is given by sigma m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity cm into t minus a to the power m. Now what we want to show is, we want to show that an is equal to cn. That means Lorentz series expansion is unique for a function fz. So now an is given by 1 upon 2 pi I integral over c 1 upon t minus a to the power n plus 1, and in place of ft we substitute sigma m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity cm into t minus a to the power m, then dt, which is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I. Sigma can be taken outside the integral sign. Sigma m is equal to minus infinity to infinity cm integral over c t minus a to the power m divided by t minus a to the power n plus 1 dt. Now because mod of t minus a is equal to r, so therefore t minus a is r into e to the power I theta. That means dt is I r e to the power I theta d theta. So make these substitutions here. So we have an is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I sigma m is equal to minus infinity to infinity cm integral 0 to 2 pi. In place of t minus a to the power m we have r to the power m e to the power I m theta divided by r to the power n plus 1 e to the power I times n plus 1 theta, and dt is I r e to the power I theta d theta. So therefore an is equal to 1 upon 2 pi sigma m is equal to minus infinity to infinity cm 0 to 2 pi r to the power m minus n e raised to the power I times m minus n theta d theta. Now two cases arise: when m is not equal to n or when m is equal to n. Let's consider the case when m is not equal to n. So in this case we have 0 to 2 pi e to the power I times m minus n theta d theta is equal to e to the power I times m minus n theta upon I times m minus n, limits 0 to 2 pi, which is equal to 1 upon I times m minus n e raised to the power I into m minus n into 2 pi minus e to the power 0. Now value of this is also 1 and e to the power 0 is also 1. So therefore 1 upon I times m minus n, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. That means when m is not equal to n, value of this integral is 0. And when m is equal to n, we have 0 to 2 pi e to the power I times m minus n theta d theta is equal to 0 to 2 pi d theta, which is equal to 2 pi. So therefore from this equation 1 we have an is equal to 1 upon 2 pi cn into 2 pi, because all other terms will be 0 except when m is equal to n. So therefore 2 pi gets cancelled, so we have an is equal to cn. That means the given series is identical with the Lorentz series of fz. So therefore expansion of a function fz using Lorentz expansion is unique. Next we come to maximum modulus principle, a very important theorem. So statement of the theorem is, if fz is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C. So function fz is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C. Then we have to show that the maximum value of mod fz occurs on C. Means maximum value of mod fz occurs on the boundary of C unless fz is a constant. So proof is by contradiction. We suppose that maximum value of mod fz occurs inside C. We have to prove that mod fz, maximum value of mod fz occurs on C, but we will assume that maximum value of mod fz occurs inside C, and then we will reach at a contradiction. So let's see the proof. Since fz is analytic inside and on C, it is continuous there. We know that analytic function is differentiable and differentiable function is always continuous. So therefore mod fz attains its maximum value. Suppose maximum value is capital M for at least one value of z inside or on C. Let, if possible, this maximum value be attained at some point z is equal to A lying inside C. So we take a point A which lies inside the contour C, and suppose that maximum value is attained at this point, and suppose that mod of fa is equal to M, where z is equal to A lies inside C. Now suppose that gamma be a circle inside C with center at z is equal to A. So now we take this circle as gamma which lies inside C. Now because fz is not a constant, so there exists a point B inside gamma, this is the point B, such that mod of fb is strictly less than M. Because function is not constant and we are taking mod fa is equal to M, so therefore there will exist a point B at which modulus of fb is less than M. So equivalently we can write mod of fb is equal to M minus epsilon, where M is greater than epsilon greater than 0. Now since mod of fz is continuous at z is equal to B, so therefore make use of epsilon delta definition of continuity. So therefore given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that for all z satisfying mod of z minus b less than delta, mod fz minus mod fb is less than epsilon by 2. But we know that mod of fz minus mod of fb is less than or equal to mod fz minus mod fb, and this is less than epsilon by 2. So therefore mod of fz is less than mod of fb plus epsilon by 2. Now modulus of fb is M minus epsilon. So therefore mod of fz is less than M minus epsilon by 2 for all z lying inside C1 centered at z is equal to B and radius delta. So we have this circle C1, and suppose this distance is delta, radius of this is delta. So inside this circle at every point we have mod of fz is less than M minus epsilon by 2. Next we consider a circle C2 centered at z is equal to A and passing through z is equal to B. Means we take this circle C2 whose center is at the point A and it passes through the point B. On the part PQ of the circle which is included in C1, we have mod of fz is less than M minus epsilon by 2. For this part lies inside C1, and we have just proved that inside the circle mod of fz is less than M minus epsilon by 2. So on this arc along PQ we have mod of fz is less than M minus epsilon by 2. While on the remaining part of C2 we have mod of fz is less than or equal to m. Now if theta is measured in anti-clockwise direction from OP, and if angle POQ is equal to alpha and mod of B minus A is equal to R, so suppose that this angle is alpha, then we make use of Gauss mean value theorem, which has been proved earlier. F of A is given by 1 upon 2 pi 0 to 2 pi f of A plus R e to the power I theta d theta. Now break 0 to 2 pi into two parts, 0 to alpha and alpha to 2 pi. So therefore this is 1 upon 2 pi 0 to alpha f of A plus R e to the power I theta d theta plus alpha to 2 pi f of A plus R e to the power I theta d theta. Taking mod on both sides, we have mod of fa less than or equal to 1 upon 2 pi integral 0 to alpha mod of fa plus R e to the power I theta d theta plus alpha to 2 pi mod of fa plus R e to the power I theta d theta. Now from 0 to alpha we have mod of this quantity is less than m minus epsilon by 2, and on other part remaining portion we have mod of fa plus R e to the power theta less than or equal to m. So we have mod of f is strictly less than 1 upon 2 pi 0 to alpha m minus epsilon by 2 d theta plus alpha to 2 pi m d theta. Integrate and put the limits. We have this is equal to 1 upon 2 pi m minus epsilon by 2 into alpha plus m into 2 pi minus alpha, which is equal to m minus epsilon alpha upon 4 pi. So therefore this implies that mod of fa is less than m minus epsilon alpha upon 4 pi. Now we had assumed that mod of fa is equal to m, so that means we have m is less than m minus epsilon alpha upon 4 pi. Now because epsilon is positive, alpha is positive, 4 pi is positive, that means m minus this quantity is less than m. So therefore we have got m is strictly less than m, which is absurd, which is not possible. So therefore our assumption that mod fz attains its maximum value inside C is not correct. So therefore mod fz cannot attain its maximum value at any point within C. Hence the maximum value of mod fz occurs on C. Next principle is minimum modulus principle. Just like maximum modulus principle, maximum value occurs on the boundary of C. Similarly, minimum value of the function also occurs on the boundary of C. So statement of the theorem is fz, if fz is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C, and fz is not equal to 0 inside C, then the minimum value of mod fz occurs on C. So proof is by making use of maximum modulus principle. Since fz is analytic inside and on C, and since fz is not equal to 0, so therefore the function 1 upon fz is also analytic inside C. Now because 1 upon fz is analytic inside C, therefore by the maximum modulus principle it follows that 1 upon mod fz cannot assume its maximum value inside C. That means mod fz cannot assume its minimum value inside C. So therefore since mod fz has a minimum, this minimum must occur on C. So this is the proof for minimum modulus principle. In case in the examination this principle is asked, you have to firstly prove maximum modulus principle and then give this statement. Thank you so much.